Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Anike here, ma'am. I'm sure you guys will be expecting to see all makeup done videos, but I have been advised and I feel it's right to be me and be natural, so the video will come easy, breezy, and you enjoy it. So there's something I want to talk about today, which a lot of people don't talk about, especially we entrepreneurs, is depression. You know, I used to feel like I used to be a very happy child until I experienced my first series of depression, and I think it comes and it goes, but it's real, and I just want to talk about my experience. You can share yours below. So the first time depression hit me, I think I've always had depression series, but it always comes like in a short period of time, especially when I have people that I trust, probably they do something bad to me. I try and go lame back and probably go on a vacation. But I know after I do the vacation and come back, I forget about what happened and I'm good. But as time goes, as we get older, we tend to receive things tend to hit us in a different way, and it's quite harder to just probably go on a 1 month vacation and that's it. Maybe it's with the age, but I think you have to, the process level is totally different from when you are much more younger, and maybe that's why we have a lot of suicide rate, because as you get older it's quite difficult to deal with depressive issues. So my major first depression series came to me when 2020. It was like a joke. First thing first, it was going to Dubai. No, I didn't even plan to be in Dubai for long. It was like a 6-day trip. I only packed for a 6-day trip, and I got to Dubai. I was invited for an award, which was given to me by the Panech Awards for leading women in general in the world. Wow Women Awards. I was honored alongside great women doing big things in Dubai, in Africa, in Asia, the likes of Salud, Engineer Salud, the likes of Almaya, Dr. Almaya, and it was really humbling for me because I was just 30. Yes, I was just 30 and I was being awarded alongside, big women in, doing big things. And I got to listen to their stories. Especially one of the stories I got to listen to was the story of Dr. Almaya. She's young mom that decided to go against all the odds of the stereotypes of being divorced and doing greater and better things. And she just said she wanted to be happy, she wanted to achieve more, and she's doing so great. Anytime I see any of her posts online, I'm always inspired by her. So there were a lot of inspiring stories, and my story too was one inspiring one, because that was when I just we were still doing the smart home. So we're still doing it, and that was on and all that. So I was there, and it was even a sponsored trip. I didn't get to pay for my tickets, my hotel. It was sponsored by travel agencies. So it was like a 6-day trip. And the next thing, that was the COVID time in 2020, December 2020. It was time for me to go do my COVID test. And I rushed to do my COVID test. But the day before I did my COVID test, I was feeling nauseous. And I think it started happening after I visited the aquarium, the Dubai aquarium, Dubai Aqua, center. I remember the name, but I wish I put it in the video. I visited there, and I got to swim with the dolphins, and I think maybe that's why I caught it or something. But I was feeling very nauseous. I was, using the toilet. Even my pool was smelling very funny. I was wondering what's happening to me. I was sneezing, and I was going to do the test. So with all the pressure, I had to go to Life Pharmacy. I'm like, oh, please, I need a drug to just take, and so I can be okay. I don't want them to detect that I have COVID or something. So, hey, I took all the drugs, but COVID is no respecter of anybody. I went to do the test. I'd packed my things, I'd shopped, I'd cleared out. I even got, I said I wanted to start a perfume business. I bought perfume things. I had packed everything. And guess what, guys? The morning after, hey, I just got a text message that you have been tested positive. Please stay in your hotel, Kinikoku. I said, what? Me? Positive? How? How did it happen? Where do I start from? Where do I go to? What is happening? And that time when you are tested positive in Dubai, it's like you have one special plague that nobody wants to touch you. Guys, I felt my first depression there. It was, hey God. I was confused, and I also felt the travel agency that was with me throughout, because I was influencing with them, they just left me hanging. And trust me, I never forgive those travel agency. I just blacklisted them from my mind, because they didn't even help tell me how I was going to get insurance. I didn't have money. I didn't know. I'd locked out, like ready to go. So I took drugs. I was on drugs, and one or two people advised, especially in the pharmacies, that I should, stay indoors. Shout out to Life Pharmacy. I think with that incident, with the incident that happened with me during COVID, I became loyal to them, because all the drugs that they prescribed for me worked, and their drugs were just on point. So I started prescribing it from my other friends that were affected with COVID, that were in Dubai. When they come, I'll just give them a little. I became like a doctor, because I understood how one system works. And from then, I had to deal with the COVID symptoms for 3 good years. I'm just getting out of it, but for 3 good years, I was always on medication. But nobody knew. For 3 good years, I'll always be sneezing. For 3 good years, I couldn't stay where there's crowd. For 3 good years, I couldn't use trains. I couldn't use public transport if I'm abroad. And after I go out, I come back, I have to take my drugs. 3 good years, I was having constant running nose. But recently, in 2023, it really subsided, and I also got to start using drugs in Turkey, and Turkey drugs are also very good and they're affordable. So my system has adjusted. But I think nobody talks about when you are affected with COVID and the long stretch it takes for you to get out of it, or let it get out of your system. So this is me in Dubai. The first thing, I called DHA. Shout out to Dubai Health Authority. Fantastic set of people. They really took care of us, and the first thing they did was to calm me down. I shouldn't worry. A car will come and pick me up. So I gave them the hotel. I moved from the hotel I was to another hotel. I was scared, but I called DHA. because I was already in the system and there was no how. I had to get the clearance and everything. So they came and they picked me up. The day they were picking me up, guys, I felt like, I don't know whether I should call it let me not call it racism or call it something else. The manager was really, really rude. Like, everybody covering their no. They were throwing my boxes. No, like I was like one plague. Hey, depression too set in. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? How am I going to deal with all this? Hey, and I got to the DHA COVID center. That one, I couldn't even sleep for 24 hours. Guys, guess what? Where they put us, I had to have a roommate. And my boxes were like 10 pieces of boxes. And she had her boxes. And the room was so tiny. That was like the free facility. I'm like, how do I get to box myself into this place? And I'm still being agitated with the fact that my life just stops. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how to move forward. And the lady there is coughing, so as in, I had cold, but her cold was like Pro Max. And I'm like, how do they expect me to get healed fast when my co-roommate is coughing? So I said, no, I can't survive this. What do? I started calling DHU. I'm like, sorry, I can't stay in this room. I thought they were taking me to a hotel. I need to stay in a hotel that will be the only one there and all that. And they said, okay, they were going to move me there, but it was going to come with some fees or something. So they moved me there. In fact, I couldn't even sleep. I was ready. I had packed my things. I didn't even eat what they brought. So they moved me there. When they moved me there, they gave me a bill. Oh, you have to pay, I think 3,000 something 5 dirhams for like for the 14 days. And they said that within the 14 days, if the doctor keeps coming to check me and I'm okay, we could go in 10 days. So I was like, okay, fine. How do I pay for this? And I'm like, oh, all right. So I get to call my exchange guy in Dubai. And where they take me to is it's supposed to be Al Maktoum Airport. So it's like 40 minutes away from Dubai. It's like you're going to the desert because you have to be quarantined. So I called my exchange guys and I spoke to 1 or 2 persons. You know, my exchange guy came and I did not eat for like 48 hours. So he brought food, brought money, and I checked into the room. When I checked into the room, my friend that works with another travel agency told me, oh, do you know you can actually apply for insurance and your insurance company would pay you for your hotel bill and everything. So I started that process. So luckily for me, the insurance company paid, I think they paid the bill and I got refunded. But the other parts, they didn't pay the other expenses. But that was, and they were also meant to pay for my flights, tickets and everything. But I'm like, okay. I tried to like chase them. I was like, no. But you see, guys, that 14 days of being there was the first time I knew what people in the prisons go through. We couldn't come out. The food, our food were dropped in front of our room. Nobody could come into your room. And nobody could clean your room. It was serious 14 days of, I say 14 days of solitary. I mean, yeah, let me call it that way. So that was also a life-changing moment for me. And that's the problem about we entrepreneurs. When we're in a situation, we always turn it, find a way to turn it, make it to something. That period was the period where Naira was dipping. Naira to dollar had moved from, I think, 107 to 200 to 400 or so, before it got to 400. And I looked at our finances. I'm like, EMR, if we keep trading in Naira, we're probably going to wake up one day and become broke as people because the naira is really dipping. And I also found out that for 7 nights I wasn't waking up to say, turn off the gen, on the gen, change the changeover, do this, do that. You know, the Nigerian the Nigerian issues we have with power. And I'm like, oh, if I can be in a country where I can only be focused on working and not being scared of turning on the gen, offing on the gen, I think I should think of applying for residency in this country. So I started calling up some people, started talking to some people. I started doing my research. And guys, you always have to do your research. I have a lot to talk about. I'm still going to talk to you about the non-glorious and the non-beautiful part of being a Dubai investor and residence, the beautiful perks of it, being a Nigerian entrepreneur in Dubai, how it goes, you know, the real lifestyle of Dubai and all that. Because for me, I just wanted to get a residency that I had control over, which also helped 3 years down the line. We had people that were not advised properly. They got their residency from a company and now they couldn't get back into the country. They needed to leave the country. And the cost difference wasn't really much. But I'm sure if those people understood that, oh, they could have rather done the investor package, it could have benefited them. Because a lot of people ask me, how do you get to come in and go out of Dubai? Nigerian passports is banned. I'm like, oh, I'm on an investor visa. That's why I am lucky to have that. But those were the things I had to research in those times. So in between that madness, my first online scandal came out. Hey, that was depression too. Wow, I woke up one morning and people started sending me blog posts. Nikki, have you seen what they said about you? The emotional says that she gave you 10 million for an influencer this thing. You didn't pay the influencer, you didn't refund her. She's calling you a scam, your picture is everywhere. Twitter influencers were paid to trend that I'm a scam. And you see, one of the most funniest parts of it, especially on Twitter, and there's some influencers I will never forgive. Like, if today they are dragging their head, the former me would join and drag their wigs on their head. But I'm not going to drag. I'm just going to say, clap and say it serves them right. Because, guys, you don't know what happens tomorrow. Especially one particular Twitter influencer. When I heard one celebrity beat him up, I was like, oh my God. When I heard he was into another scandal for being called out for respect to my friends in the rainbow community. I love them a lot. When I heard he was having issues with them, I was like, okay. When I heard a lot of things happen after that time, I said, see? But this guy was, I don't know, maybe he was paid, or maybe it was probably like he was like making sure, this girl has had a clean slate for 10 years. We need to blog about something. I need to join them in talking bad about Nika Emirati. So, but when you search my hashtag name on Nika Emirati on Twitter, because this influencer dude has a lot of followers, guys, his tweet about me is still there. And I made sure I never told him to delete it because I knew there was a future that was coming and I was going to reference it somehow. I wasn't following him. He knew friends of mine that were friends. But for me, even if I'm not following you and someone comes to pay me to trend you to discredit your how would I put it, to tarnish your image, for the fact that I know you have friends and friends that we know each other, I'm going to respect that space and I'm not going to do that. But I think the influencers and the Twitter people we have these days, they don't care about future. They don't care how important this person will be, because at least so far, this is Twitter influencer is influential. I won't call it influential. He has a lot of followers on Twitter. So his tweets spread. But so far on Instagram, if we're going to say, oh, who are the first 10 or first 15 people on Instagram that will place a comment or place a post and talk about something and people want to listen to, at least the Nikkei Yemao profile will come out. Yeah! My Instagram family members made me that, made that page that strong, because I don't know what they've seen, but they just believe me when I just say something. So during that times when this influencer was being dragged, I could have also chipped in and helped to talk about, to support. You guys don't drag this person now. No, this guy is just getting married. No, why will a celebrity beat him? That's wrong. But I kept quiet because I'm like, you were part of people that used the knife to go against me, even without even calling me to find out my own side of the story. So that story came up, shout out to my Nikkei Yemao gang. You guys fought for me tooth and nail. I felt like I was the only one against the world, but it was a time I needed to know who my real friends were. Guys, I don't know if it happens to you, for people that are quite popular online. When you have friends that probably have not spoken to you in a while, they come and start sending you voice messages or text messages and WhatsApp messages that a good name is better than riches. A Keniko is this. Nikkei, I heard this. You've probably not spoken to me for like 2 years or 6 months, and you don't even trust me. First, at least trust. Have that little bit of trust. Trust me first, or ask me what happened, and you just conclude because someone says Nikkei Yemao is a scam. And it happened, and I said, okay. I had to consciously block those people out of my life, and I had to leave the little set of people that believed me. So I got my lawyers. My lawyers were preparing the letter. I had to do a response, say my own side of the story, but protect the talent. First management didn't have any signed agreement with the talent that we're not going to release the talent's name. No. But for me, I feel it's not the talent's business. If the client that wants to use the talent wakes up one morning and says they don't want to use the talent again, transaction closed, it's not talent's business. You have to protect the image of the talent. So I made sure I did that till the end. And even when friends call me, I just say talent. I don't say the name of talent. And I got respect from the management of talent that I had to protect the talent. And I took all the backlash. But at the end of the day, you guys saw how it played out. So that issue was serious, because one thing that hit me and how it affected my business so well was I lost about 25 million naira then, because I was expecting a lot of income of rentals. But the gist in Nigeria was Nikkei ran away with 10 million naira and she's not coming back to Nigeria. So all my tenants that were meant to pay me rent between the month of December to about May, to when I came back, refused to pay me my rent. Some of them left with my rent, and I had a lot of bills to pay. I had a lot of debts to pay, and that one publication destroyed a lot of things that time. So 2021 was the worst year ever. How I miraculously came out of that year, guys, I don't know how I did that, but I think it's the grace of God. But there's something about me, once my email goes out and I say, okay, we know this transaction did not work, we will refund. For me, my word is my bond. Even if it will take 1 year, 2 years, I will make sure I refund. Now, this lady that came out, Omashola, that came out to talk about us coming now, when she was the one that said she was not interested in the transaction, she was the one that made payment, and we also gave her our bills of 10% of this thing. Didn't stop there. She went forward by also liaising with some of our clients that we had issues with in EMR spaces. Those people came with some false set of stories, Then she went forward to trying to get people that probably knew my family, and she wanted to try and arrest my mom or something. I'm like, hey, there has to be like you have to put an embargo on that, because we are both in this Dubai. If you want to arrest me, you feel like I did something wrong, you could have just gone to the police to arrest me, and I'll come out. Let's not forget, she also contacted people that were talking to me in Dubai, my address and everything, but she knows that there are always rules. You can't take laws into your hands. If you really know this person scammed you, you are meant to go to the police, make your official report, the police will do the investigation. But because she knew that her story wasn't true, so she had to try and use other things. But for me, that didn't really get to me. What was in my mind was, how do I clear off this debt? How do I get through this, and how do I get this through this period? So the 6 months, even her fellow celebrity friend that was championing said, oh, I was staying in a hostel that I could not even afford to be in Dubai, that was probably sleeping around. They said a lot of things. I remember the day I saw that one, I was staying in the hostel, I was laughing because I actually was the first 10 clients that rented Plaza Heights in JVC by Peace Homes. Beautiful studio apartments with nice view and a nice balcony, my kitchen, everything. In fact, when I send the pictures and videos to my friends, they're like, oh God, you allow Jim. You allow Jim in Dubai. When online, they are shouting that you are suffering. I'm like, because I used to be someone that I hold a lot of information a lot. I only let people know what they want to know. I'm not going to tell you my life. I'm not going to post what you want to know. I'm just going to post what I feel you should know. So there are a lot of perceptions about Nika EMA. In fact, when some people come close to me and they see how hard I work, and they see how hard what I do, they're like, I used to feel you were into prostitution. Apologies to my to any of my followers or anybody watching this video that probably does that and feels offended. No, it's not an offense, because every profession is a profession. Like I always say, you cannot fault anybody for taking decisions of what they want to do to their bodies. But they always feel I used to do that I also used to have like a big sponsor. I was probably doing money laundering. I remember a time in a hotel when I was in Dubai, one of the receptionists called me and said, sorry ma'am, what do you do? I'm like, what's the meaning of what do I do? Why are you asking? I said, I'm into real estate and marketing. She's like, I thought you do drugs. I have some few contacts. I'm like, why will you feel I do drugs? And she's like, well, you don't go out. When you go out, you go in the morning, you come back, you stay in the hotel, you don't have visitors, you don't go clubbing, you don't do partying, you don't share your room, you just walk, come home, come to the hotel, sleep, go out, work. I'm like, because that's my lifestyle in Nigeria. And I have to monitor business in Nigeria. So I have to be in the hotel when I'm not going to do work outside Dubai. So that's who I am. So, but I don't do drugs. I don't even know what drugs are. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So not to even talk about trading in drugs. So that's who I am. That's what I do. And really, I actually didn't blame her, because I'm like, Nika, you only put the beautiful parts, like the beautiful video. Just like what I said, I want to dress like, this is how I am, Monday to Friday, at home. If I don't have any work doing, I operate a lot of things via my phone. COVID has taught us not to always go out 24/7. You can do your business on your phone and your laptop. And I'm like, okay, I need to let people see my life, how my life is, how natural I am. And that's why I'm doing this video without any makeup, without anything, so it can be as natural as possible. So I was like, okay, how do we go from here? How do I clear this whole scam thing? Number one thing, keep to what your email said. Start refunding this lady. So I had like a deadline. I'm like, by March, even if I could not meet up with the 9 million, try and start paying the money. So by March, I had to sell my car because I was living in Dubai with making no income. Every money I made from Nigeria, I was putting into setting up EMR marketing Dubai and also doing my residency at the same time. I wasn't making any income in Dubai. I was getting income from Nigeria, and around that March it was red, red flag. I had to move from JVC down to Dubai Central because I was paying taxi fare was about 100 dirham every day, and it didn't make sense. I'm like, okay, let me just come to a hotel Central Dubai. So I was doing all that. I was still maintaining my business in Nigeria, EMR spaces in Nigeria, dealing with the crazy legal battles, dealing with the crazy landlords, dealing with everything, and also dealing with trying to set up EMR in Dubai. It was crazy. And I had to make sure at least I paid part of that money, so this lady could know that I'm no scammer, and when I say my word, this is what my word is my bond, regardless of the fact that my lawyers had already started a case in Nigeria. Now, a lot of people feel when they go to court is an avenue for them to escape making payments. If I take you to court or you take me to court, no, your money is saved somewhere. Except I know that, you see, in this issue, I have lost, and I know that you're not going to pay me back like some landlords do. I know you're not going to pay me back for what I've upgraded your property for. When we're done in the courts, I take my L and I go, but I'm not going to lose paying you. But in situations like that, it was a scam. You have to keep their money somewhere. Don't let anybody say, oh, you took their money. You just have to keep their money. So in March, I had to sell my car because everywhere was red. The banks were dragging me with my credit loan. I had to pay that off. I had to pay for where I was going to sleep. Me, I don't know how to do, there are people that have, women that are very lucky that have like, 1 or 2 male friends that will help in living, giving them space to live or pay. I don't know how to beg people for money. I don't know if you're an entrepreneur like me, raise up your hand. We rather drink Gary and suffer. I don't know how to beg anybody for money. So I needed to pay for another 1 month of where I was going to stay. It was costing me about, I think, 1.2 million a month in Nigerian currency. I needed to pay at least 1 million naira to Omoshola for the transaction that didn't go through. And I also needed to just pay to survive first, to breathe. So I had to sell. I was like, what do I have in Nigeria? My car just came. I had to sell my car. So that's, guys, I called them and I sold my car. And I remember in the comment section that time when they were talking with the whole thing, someone said, oh, if she's broke, maybe she has her Venza, she can sell her Venza. When I saw that message, guys, tear dropped from my eyes because I was like, is it that bad? My battery is going down. Let me charge. Sorry, guys. Yeah, guys, 1 minute. Sorry for the breaking transmission, guys. So I was like, is it that bad that someone is saying I will sell my car if I don't have money? But guys, at the end of the day, it got that bad. So I called my people in Nigeria. I had a car to sell. Shout out to my support system, guys. If you don't have good people around to help you navigate stuff, yeah, if you don't have good people around to help you navigate stuff, it's quite difficult, but shout out to my support system. I got a buyer that was ready to buy my car for 4.5 million. I was going to lose 1.5 because I bought the car for 6 million. But for me, I just needed to sell the car so I could sort out bills. So that was me. I went, sold my car. Immediately the money came. I sent 1 million to mashallah, sent 1 million to the bank because the bankers were stressing me. And I don't think I'll ever get a loan in the bank again. Guys, I don't know for any entrepreneur that feels it's easy to get a loan in the bank. I don't know how you guys sleep. For me, I rather owe probably my business transaction associates than a bank. You can't sleep. I don't know how you do it, but you can't sleep. So I couldn't sleep. So I had to pay the bank. I had to pay for my apartment where I was going to stay. Then I had to have like small change. But it was life-changing because in as much as I want to talk about the ills of mashallah, I also need to give her credit because the moment she noticed that I had paid the 1 million, she called me up and she started apologizing. She said, "I'm so sorry for what I've made you go through." You know, the biggest thing in life is when you have to forgive somebody that has tarnished your image very bad. Sorry guys, I'm crying. You know why? I couldn't blame them. I couldn't blame anybody. Because I kept a large part of my life so secretive that if somebody says I scammed them of 10 million naira, people will believe because people were not seeing where I was making money. People did not know my net worth value. So when that news came out, they just saw maybe I was this beautiful girl on Instagram. I was this beautiful girl on Instagram that just posts pictures. And that's one thing Nina Ivy, shout out to Nina. Oh my God. She was defending me tooth and nail because Nina knew as far back as 2018 when I met her and I was managing her. She knew my net worth. Like everywhere we shot the videos, they were my house. They were my properties I was managing, either properties I rented. So she knew my worth value. She knew that 10% or 15% of talent management money was a chicken change to me. And she always told me, she said, "Nike, you see, I blame you because you always hide your life. You don't let people know your net worth. So if a story like a mashallah comes out saying you scammed out 10 million, they will believe because you just put up a fine picture online. You don't let people know, oh, this is who you are and this is your net worth. So you have to start letting people know this is who you are, this is what you're worth." And when I went without having a car throughout 2021 and I bought my Benz in December, she was the first one that said, "Nike, you see that video of the car? You have to post it." She posted it. You need to let them know that you can afford these things. And I think that was when I started posting a little bit of, my net worth. Because I always laugh that if I post a day in my life every day, a lot of people will be shocked because these things I just feel when you live a comfortable life, these are normal things. There's no reason for me, if you have a comfortable life, there's no reason for you to put it out there. It's comfortable for us. We want to even be better. We want to be like Dangote. We've not gotten there yet. So for me, I'm like, I beg, I'm suffering. But really, especially when I'm out of the country, the hotels I stay, what I do, it's quite comfortable. And but I really feel, maybe because I'm always targeting something, I really don't have the time to post. It's just only people that meet me there, and we get to be or friends on Instagram, and they post. Some of them will just make some few comments. Madam at the top. These are, I'm like, you guys, these are normal life. But Omashala called me, and she's like, she's so sorry that people told her that, oh, I don't have money, I won't be able to pay, and she's so sorry for judging me. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. Luckily for me, after paying her 1 million that day, I told her, oh, I'm expecting another money, I'll do under 500. Luckily, under 500K came in, I paid her. Luckily for me, between March and May, we had done half of the money. I'd done close to 4 point something M, and by September I'd already hit 6 million. The balance was about 3 million, and she really, you know, tried to like bring me close, apologize. She tried to meet up with me countless times, but I was scared. I was like, no. Someone had said something bad about me. I didn't think I was going to get close to that person, but I forgive her. It's very hard to forgive somebody, but you know, when you forgive those kind of actions that someone does to you unknowingly, you know, things is just better for you. Things begin to move on swiftly and easily. So I forgave her. She threw a very nice surprise party for me, mini party by a surprise company. She spent a lot of money, and I was really touched, you know, and people were shocked. The same people that were trying to drag me online, and my friends were like, see this same Omashala girl, I said you were a scam. See what she so had, see the amount of money she spent for you on your birthday. And I'm like, oh, it's, you know, when God turns your enemy to become your friends, it's unexplainable. Nobody can explain it. I couldn't explain it myself, because I was like, oh my God, this was too much. Like, even when she said she was sending something, I thought it was going to be something simple, but no, it was, she really did a lot on my birthday. And you know, with the whole food platter, dance and everything. If you guys go down my Instagram video, you'll see some of the spinlets of it, and I really appreciated her for that. And when it was her birthday, I returned back, you know, the same energy. Even when I wasn't in Dubai, I tried to make sure I did my own part. And that was how I finally could come out of my depression stage, when I had to get that apology I got that apology from her. It really helped me. And even when I was done with everything I was doing in Dubai and I was going, that was another mini depression that happened, because guys, I was sleeping, waking up. I got to Nigeria in June. Nobody knew I was coming. Got to Nigeria in June. Nobody knew I was in Nigeria June, July until August. But that's another just for another day, guys. But that was my major part of depression that happened, and how I had to deal with it. And I was happy that during that year of 2021, I paid off the debts with her. I cleared off a lot of my debts. Business was setting back, because yes, business really went back when I wasn't in Nigeria for 6 months, and when COVID hit, you know, I'm extremely grateful, you know, that at every point when I had to deal with depression, something made me come out of it. So I don't know, I don't want this video to get to an hour. I don't know anyone out there that is going through depression from what they could have said about them, or situations that could have happened in life. Like, if you could tell me to choose again, would I live my life of 2020 and 2021 setting up Emirati in Dubai? Yeah, I'm going to do that, because it really opened a lot of doors for me. I remember having to have a lot of visa rejections, like, because they're like, I was too young, I couldn't explain my finances, I couldn't explain this, but being a Dubai investor, opened up that, broke that barrier. They're like, okay, for you to be a Dubai investor, then you are somebody of importance. So I had it easy with embassies everywhere in the world. I also could also be a resident of Turkey for a year, and it's I thank God for 2020. I thank God for COVID happening to me, because if it didn't happen to me, I won't have the experience of being an international, global citizen, like what my friends always say. My friends now, they come, they're like, okay, what country are you now in? Are you in Dubai? Are you in Turkey? Are you in London? Are you in Nigeria? But I'm always laughing. I'm like, no, I'm in Nigeria. Oh, no, I'm in Dubai. No, I'm in... So I thank God for that. It was a defining experience and a defining period of my life. I hope you guys loved my cheetah story. It was for 45 minutes. Oh my God. I don't know how I can edit this. If I did this, it might not be too interesting. But don't forget to click the subscribe button. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you for your love and your support for at #EMR12. We still have 8 days left for the giveaway, so